Bury St Edmunds, an historic cathedral town and civil parish in Suffolk, England. Home of the Green King Brewery, as well as the Silver Spoon Sugar Factory, sweet as. The town began as an Anglo-Saxon settlement with Sigebert, the King of East Anglia, I probably didn't say that right, founding a monastery there back in the year 630. 630 AD. So it's proper old. We're talking medieval gleemen, bards, and roaming musicians of the 6th century, gracing the lands of Suffolk with their old-time tunes on lutes and all sorts of magical weird instruments. Well, the modern day is here, my friends, and it's time I followed in the footsteps of my street musician ancestors. Has Bury St Edmunds got a busking scene as rich as its history? Or did Ed Sheeran rinse it all back when he was a Suffolk-based street musician? There is only one way to find these things out, my friends. Here is how I got on busking in Bury St Edmunds. Now then, welcome to Bury St Edmunds. I wanted to say that this was like the birthplace of Ed Sheeran, but I don't think it is. I think it's just nearby. But we don't talk about Ed Sheeran, do we? We're real musicians. I'm just kidding. But yeah, I'm here in this like traditional market town because several people messaged me on Instagram saying that this is a good place to busk. So here I am. We're gonna see what it's like. We're gonna check out some spots. I've seen several already just walking through. It looks beautiful. Before we do anything else, let's go through the rules. The rules for busking in Bury St Edmunds. West Suffolk Council do not license busking, so anybody can set up and perform at any time. Happy days. In order to minimize disturbance, they do ask you adhere to their guidelines, which are put out on this very Microsoft Word looking leaflet. Clearly design isn't where they put their energy in West Suffolk Council. Firstly, this leaflet goes through how to deal with a disturbance from a busker if you're a business owner or a resident. It goes through obtaining a temporary event license if you're a larger group who are planning to busk. And it also has a section on public liability insurance. Then on the other page, there are a few guidelines, which I will go through for you now, just to save you the trouble. Because I'm good like that. Number 1, they recommend occupying a pitch for no more than 1 hour. Moving at least 50 meters away when you find a new spot. Number 2, no setting up within 100 meters of another busker. Number 3 says do not block pedestrians, fire exits, cash points and doorways. And be mindful of wheelchairs and pushchairs and buskers with trolleys. Number 4, if requested, reduce your volume. Number 5, no selling merchandise unless you have obtained a street trader's license. Number 6, street entertainment may only take place between the hours of 9 AM and 6 PM. So no late night vibes in Bury St Edmunds. Those hours are reserved for the ghosts of the medieval bards. And number 7 says how that this leaflet is provided to set a standard that, if followed, should enable busking to continue and thrive whilst protecting the businesses and residents from excessive noise and prolonged exposure to the same performances. Very well. Not too bad. As with all these rules set out by councils that I like to go through here on the channel, it's always worth noting that they are just guidelines. No council can actually enforce them as laws, and you're under no legal obligation to abide by them. However, for the most part, I think that all guidelines do a good job of keeping the harmony between the businesses and the buskers, and they do allow for buskers to thrive. The one and only guideline that I think you should take with a pinch of salt is the time allocated to pitches. I do think it is okay to play for more than 1 hour in a pitch. You'll probably notice that I do this regularly if you watch other videos. I think if you're not visibly annoying anyone, any businesses or residents, and you're not hogging the pitch from other buskers, you're entertaining and you're not repeating the same songs over and over and over again, and most importantly that the public are clearly enjoying what you're doing, then it can be worth staying in a pitch for a bit longer. And that's why I do it. Anyway, a simple set of reasonable rules laid out by West Suffolk. Good on yous. So let's get on with my day in Bury St Edmunds.
Alright then, here we are.
in Bury St Edmunds, spot number 1. I just spoke to like a really friendly accordion player who's busking down the other street. He seemed very chirpy, so good signs already. Let's see how we get on over here. Spot number 1. Lucky for me, before heading to Bury St Edmunds, I'd been in contact with some local buskers who'd given me the lowdown on all the known pitches. This card is just for the season only. Upon arriving, I'd walked down Abbey Gate Street, which is where I'd met the accordion player. I'd also noticed a busker set up outside Marks and Spencer's, which is on Butter Market. So I set up on the pedestrian-only walkway that is between Cornhill and St John's Street. There's a monster inside my head as it goes back, turn around. It was a beautiful morning on the streets of Bury, and the people were in good spirits. It came as no surprise to me that things got off to a great start. Having already seen 2 buskers in the town, people in Bury are clearly familiar and know exactly how to behave around a street musician. No decision, what can I do now? I'm 2 steps from the crossroads and I'm not sure which way to go now. Slow down. Upon arriving in this spot, a member of staff from the H. Samuel jewellery store, which was opposite to where I was set up, had come over and asked me what kind of music I'd be playing. They say all I want about it, doesn't mean I don't doubt it sometimes. I was a little worried that she'd follow this up by reminding me of the 1 hour per pitch rule. We go for. But she didn't, and she also loved the fact that I was going to be playing some Green Day songs. The combination of knowing that there were already buskers set up in the other main pitches and the fact that it was going so well meant that I decided pretty early on that it would probably be worth staying in this pitch for a moment longer than 1 hour. This is a tactical move that I use quite often. It means I make my money's worth whilst I'm secure in the pitch, so that when I do finish and move on to another one, it wouldn't be the end of the world if I couldn't get one. It's worth doing when you're in a place and it's going very well. It's not so worth it if you're in a place and it's not going very well. That's usually a good sign to move. There's a lot to be said for like getting to a place early so you can get set up, and it's definitely the way to go if you want to get a spot before other buskers turn up. But there is something about midday that means that people just appear, because this place was kind of busy when I got here, but right now it's like popping. There are so many people in Bury St Edmunds today, and it is going so well. So well. I might even play for 2 and a bit hours here. I'm getting carried away. It's true, I've noticed this in almost everywhere I play. Typically I set up and begin playing around 10:30, 11 AM, and the first hour is almost always quieter than the second. There's just something about noon that just means everybody's out. It's something unpredictable, and in the end it's right. I hope you have the time of your life. It's another reason that it's worth staying an extra hour in that pit, despite the guidelines. Again, as long as you're not annoying anybody and you're not hogging that pitch from another busker. I was having a magical time in Bury. It's a very traditional and pretty place, and you can feel the history. And the people of Suffolk are really friendly. It was all smiles. A little after 2 hours, I finished up in spot 1. It's something unpredictable, that in the end it's right. Beautiful, eh? This place is so nice. Like, it's so nice here. I'm currently stood in the Abbey Gardens, which is why there's the Abbey there, I assume. Riddle me this, everybody. How come Bury St Edmunds has a cathedral, but it's not a city? It's regarded a town. Why? I thought a cathedral qualified a place as a city. Either way, this place is rad. I'm having a good time here, man. These gardens are beautiful. If you're just coming for a visit, I highly recommend a walk around here. Full of history. Abbey there, castle ruins over there. Anyway, spot 1, let's talk about it. I set up outside Edmundo Lounge, or the Jewelers. I can't remember what it's called. The woman from the Jewelers came out just before I set up, and she was like, what kind of stuff are you gonna play? And I was freaking out that she was gonna be like, don't be too long or something, and she was like, no, I love the sound of Green Day. So that was good. At one point, one of the council workers came with this giant vacuum cleaner that I've never seen them before, and he like swept around me. It was funny. It was like someone doing their housework around you busking. It was so good. Right from the word go, people definitely understand what buskers are here, which is not surprising to me, because I saw 2 before I'd even set up. And there's currently 3 of us out for sure, because I've just walked past another one. So for spot 2, I'm not sure what I'm going to do. I'm not sure if there's going to be an available spot yet, so I might have to wait around, eat some lunch and chill out here in the gardens. I can see this place being like a real haven for busking. Like, I think that it's a big enough place. It's sort of the same size as somewhere like Canterbury or Peterborough, somewhere like that. It's got quite a big town centre. And there is a fair few spots to busk. There's clearly some regulars here, and it's clearly sort of like a known place to busk in the area. So get down early, that's my recommendation. Total for spot 1, £75.77. So hopefully, should be a 3-figure day. Spot number 2. After a nice little excursion around the Abbey Gardens, I noticed that my accordion friend was no longer playing in Abbygate Street. So I took my chances and I set up opposite Cafe Nero. Now this is a narrow street, so I kept my volume down, as the sound resonates enough to be heard over everything. No need to crank it up here. Now I was in Bury the week between Christmas and New Year, that weird lull week where nobody seems to know what to do with themselves, except for us buskers, obviously. It meant that despite it being a Thursday, it was really busy. Like, weekend busy. Though I assume that Bury's the sort of place that is probably always busy, being that it's a historic place and attracts a lot of visitors. The combination of the time of year, the fact that people are in such high spirits, and me playing my heart out, meant that spot 2 just went off. It was so good. Smiling, dancing, people stopping and sitting outside Cafe Nero to watch, donations coming in, even getting the card taps, which doesn't always happen, not everywhere. Not everywhere wants to do the card. The only issue I was having were the old set of strings on my guitar.
She's walking up to me as start to shake.
Can you hear the difference? My G string is dead. And that's as funny as it sounds. The G string on my guitar is dead. I need to change my strings. If you're going to become a full-time busker, be aware that you need to change your strings like every 2 weeks. I got lazy and I didn't change them, and today they've been dead. Yes, folks, that's right. Change those strings every 2 weeks. Just part of the job. First sponsor of this YouTube channel, I'm hoping it will be a string company. That'd be good. That'd be real good. As I sang and played down that old market street, I thought about how far I'd come over the last year and a half of being a full-time busker. It's such a magical thing. It's no wonder it's been a job for centuries, predating those 6th century bards. People have been doing this for centuries upon centuries upon centuries. A full day of busking leaves you with this incredible sense of accomplishment, like nothing else. And being at the receiving end of such kindness and appreciation from strangers, I feel like it makes me kinder and more appreciative. I genuinely feel a need to pay the kindness and appreciation forward, all from a day of doing what I love the most, playing music. I still play this guitar. Like I've said before, this isn't just about playing music in the street. It's about creating an energy, a positive one, bringing people together and connecting. Pure magic. It's pure magic. After 1 hour of playing in this spot, I felt I'd got all I need out of Bury St Edmunds. A rad day of busking and a rad day out. Look at that view of Bury St Edmunds. But the foreground, unfortunately, is just a car park. Wow, what a place! I can't like express how good today has been. It's been so good. And whether Ed Sheeran is from here or not, it doesn't matter, because it's a rad place to busk. Spot 2, just the first song in Spot 2, yeah, nothing happened. There was no donations, people just walked past, and I was like, oh, maybe I've made a mistake. And then the floodgates opened and it went off. One thing I want to get better at is not being so paranoid. I think a New Year's resolution for me is to stop worrying that shops or businesses are going to tell me off or tell me to move, because they never do. I think it's happened once, and there's video evidence it happened in Richmond, and it was just a guy telling me to turn down. Other than that, it's never happened. So I need to stop worrying about it, because it always goes well. Oh man, I can't tell you how good busking is. It makes you feel so good. Compared to a year ago, I play so much better than I've ever played before in my entire music career. And I've been at this music thing now since I was 11 years old. 20 years. Anyway, Spot 2, I made £54.6p. So today's total is A very nice total for a day's work. If you are a Suffolk resident busker, then you've got to get yourself to Bury St Edmunds. If you happen to be on a road trip of the UK and you want to visit East Anglia, then get to Bury St Edmunds. It's a beautiful place to visit and it's a great place to busk. Woo! Bury St Edmunds, a little piece of Anglo-Saxon busking gold. No need for an excavation to uncover this one. All you need to do is head there and check it out for yourself. I highly recommend it as a place to busk, although I'm still not at the bottom as to why it's a town, but it has a cathedral. Anyone know? Thank you for watching this video. If you are a busker who's been to Bury St Edmunds or frequents Bury St Edmunds often, then feel free to comment below any advice I might have missed or anything you think's worth knowing. Anything useful for all your fellow buskers. Give this video a like if you did like it and hit subscribe. Do it for the legacy. Make those medieval bards proud. We're keeping street music alive with a modern day YouTube twist. And if you are a true fan, then turn the notifications on. I am August Radio Project. I make videos every week and they come out on Monday. Until next week, maybe watch the video that's on the screen or go and check out the others on this channel. I will see you in the next one. Peace, love, happiness.